Today I'm going to tell you how to be interesting. A lot of the videos I've been making are saying something about, I was talking about a lot of social stuff and then I'm talking about, you should be fun or something. And I get a bunch of comments and they say, how are you interesting? How can someone be interesting? And it's not an easy question to do, and it certainly takes a lot of practice throughout your life. But I'm going to talk about one of the ways to be interesting today, and that one way is this: form your own opinion and tell other people about it. So let me give you an example. One of my more popular videos is about Egyo and Martu, right? And I'm going to show you, right now I want to show you how I formed my opinion and how you can generally form your opinion. Step one, you have to observe stuff. One of the things that I do is I'm constantly observing stuff. I'm always looking around and seeing what piques my interest. When I come to Korea, luckily for me, this is why I like Korea, one of the things is Korean culture is very different from my own culture, so everything is different. So there's a lot of stuff that piques my interest, and I can look at it and go, oh, okay, that's interesting. So what did I see? I saw Egyo. Not only did I see Egyo, I saw Martu, the change in people's tone and pitch and everything. And I went around and I said, okay, this is weird. Korean people, girls really do a different voice around their boyfriends, and guys will do a different voice to their boss, or everyone does a slightly different voice when you're ordering food or something to make sure you have some politeness, right? So step number one was observe interesting things going on, things that are out of the norm for you. Number two, ask yourself why. Why is it that Korean people are using Egyo? And why are they changing their mouth to a lot more than Americans do? It's not that Americans never do it, it's just that we do not do it nearly as much as Korean people do. Okay? Number three, try to figure out why. Why are Korean people using Egyo? Why are Korean people using Martu? And my conclusion was, I think in Korean culture, people need to show respect a lot. They need to show respect to people of higher status and everything. So not only was the grammar form of imnidan, sumnidan, ayo, and yo, and all that stuff, that wasn't just enough. Martu had to be developed. Is this a scientific fact? No. Is it absolutely guaranteed to be correct? No. But it's my opinion. And when I made that video, it got pretty popular because it's an opinion, and it's interesting and it's different. So I just show you how I make these opinions. But the question is, why? So you end up seeing that that opinions are just generally, more fun. They're interesting because they give you something to talk about, right? And when you make an opinion is by definition not a fact. Okay, so there's a lot of room to argue about stuff. And arguing is fun because you exchange ideas and you make your own new opinions, and the other person makes their own opinions, all that good stuff. Now, a lot of times, Korean people don't want to do this, okay? Because there's two reasons. Number one, humans in general, we want other people to like us. That's just a natural thing, okay? That's humans in general. That's not a Korean thing, that's not an American thing, that's humans. But I think the Korean thing that adds on top of that is Korean people don't want to offend other people. Korean people are taught, to be polite and to be polite to the other person. And when you're talking to the other person, you should be making sure that you don't hurt their feelings or make them feel bad. Well, I got news for you. If you don't hurt anyone's feelings, you're never going to be interesting. Okay? Being interesting is a risky thing. When you're stating your opinion all the time, they're not facts, so they have a lot of people that disagree with you. When you state your opinion, many people are not going to agree. Okay? Not only are many people not going to agree, they're going to hate you. Okay? A lot of people hate me. You can look at my comment section to find people who hate me. In real life, too, I go out there and I'm pretty entertaining, pretty interesting because I state all of my opinions. But a lot of people hate me, and that's okay. I always have this saying, which is, I would rather be hated than boring. There's so many of my Korean friends, so many Korean people I know, they go around and they don't want to say anything controversial, so their conversations end up being about like the weather. They end up being, oh, what did you eat last night? Oh, I had samgyeopsal. Oh, where did you go? Well, I went to Sinchon for samgyeopsal. Now, that kind of conversation, there's nothing innately wrong with it. You're not evil. It's not even necessarily terribly boring. Everyone, even super interesting Park Hae-dae, ends up in those conversations. It just can't only be that. And it's very tempting. It's even tempting for me to stay like that, to keep those conversations, because nobody gets hurt and it's very easy to do. But if you actually want to be interesting, you have to take a risk. Okay? You have to risk that the person you're talking to will get offended. And I don't want to offend anyone, but that's the way the world goes. Some people get offended. And you have to take the risk that that person will get offended and then they'll hate you. And you know what? That sucks too. I don't want people to hate me. But when you take the risk and you get the reward, sometimes the person is really genuinely interested. And if you want to be interesting, you should go out there and say it. And say your opinion. Make your opinions first and then say them. And then you tell the person either they hate you and they never want to talk to you again, which is fine. They can move on. You'll never talk to them again. Or they think, wow, this guy's interesting. And then they want to talk to you again. And then they end up stating their opinions. One of my funnest things to do is to talk to Korean people, because then I start telling my opinion. And at some point they either get so angry or they get so interested that they have to state their own. Even though they're kind of afraid, because they're afraid they're going to offend me. And I'm like, dude, don't worry. You're not going to offend me. Just tell me. And then when you get Korean people to come out of their shell like that, that's really fun for me. And here's the last thing. American culture, American education system, it raises us to be interesting in this way. From my understanding, in Korea, when you guys are going through the education system, you have 주입식 교육, right? Which is like in education by injection. Teacher talks at you, you listen, you put it down on a piece of paper when it's test time. That's what happens. Education just goes like that, right? In America, our education is quite different, obviously. When we're growing up, the teacher always says, what do you think? What, like, you know, class, tell me what you think. It's not all the time, but this happens a lot. And they encourage us to give our opinion. And then another student has their opinion. And then we argue about it, right? And I know Korean people are really envious of this system. And they're envious of it because it makes you kind of more outgoing and more free and all that stuff. But the real thing is, it makes us form our own opinions, which just naturally makes us kind of interesting. And it makes us unafraid and a bunch of, whatever. It makes us naturally kind of interesting, which is great. And the Korean system makes you guys naturally, I don't want to say uninteresting, but a little more reserved, a little more quiet, a little more polite, a little more careful, which does end up being a little more uninteresting. Sorry, guys. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you hate this video, give it a thumbs down. If you like me or you hate me, you can subscribe right there. Please remember, leave a bunch of comments. Like I just explained in this video, I want to give my opinion. I want you to give me your opinion back. Even if you agree with my opinion or if you hate my opinion, just leave a comment right there. No problem. And then finally, the most important thing is to have a very awesome day.